So this is a lab solution video for case study number 1, Palo Alto Firewall, case study number 1. So let us see as to what are the objectives of this particular case study. The course is called as what? Cyber Security Palo Alto Firewall. In that we are trying to do unit number 1, case study number 1. Let us see as to what are the objectives of this particular case study. The first objective is we change the password for the user account. The default user, we'll see as to what's the default username and password. We change the default password on the system. Then we'll see how to set the IP address to the management interface on the Palo Alto Firewall statically. See as what are the commands we give and verify the configuration of the management interface on the firewall. Then we log on to the firewall remotely using a browser. Then once we log on to the firewall, we'll change the host name of the firewall. We also set the time zone to the firewall. Then we configure the virtual router on the firewall. Then we configure security zones on the firewall as per the topology diagram. Then we configure the Ethernet interfaces on the firewall as per the topology diagram. And then when we commit, we'll see as to how the routing table of the Palo Alto Firewall looks like. We verify the routing table on the firewall. We also verify the routing tables of the systems in the case study. And then we'll see as to how to configure a security policy on the firewall to allow the packets for the firewall, asking the firewall to allow communication from one zone to some other zone. Then we see as to how to configure interface management profile on the Palo Alto Firewall and also verify the configuration. Then we verify the connectivity by giving the ping command from the firewall to the systems around the firewall. So these are the objectives of this particular case study. Now let us have a look at the case study diagram. So this is the diagram we are going to work with. In this particular diagram, we have, let's say, Mango sys 10, Mango sys 20, Mango sys 30 and Mango sys 40. There are two systems in this 192.168.1.0 area. We have two systems in 192.168.2.0 area. And in between we have, let's say, Palo Alto Firewall. So when this particular system, from this particular system, when they want to send a packet to 2.10, the packet has to go through the router and then, right? We'll see how to allow the packet to go through the virtual router running on the firewall from one area to other. So this is a diagram we are going to work with. We understood all the concepts in the theory class. This is why now we are trying to do the lab practice. So to open this particular case diagram, what you do now? Once you go to the lab setup here, where do you go now? Here. You all go to the files. You have to go to where? Files. And you go here, files, right? This is the files icon. So double click on the files icon. Open the files here. Then you go what? Under home. You go to where? Documents. Documents folder. So all of you click on the documents folder. Then you see a folder here called as Cyber Security Palo Alto Firewall Case Studies. So all the case studies of the Palo Alto Firewall course are present in this particular folder. You double click on this. Then you see one file here called as Palo Alto Firewall case study number 1.zip file is there. So on this particular zip file, you say right click on it and say what? Extract here. Extract here. So this particular file is getting extracted. When you click here, it shows extraction is still going on, right? Once the extraction is complete, then what you do? You double click on this particular folder here and right click on this particular .jnsc file and open with GNS3. Open with GNS3. So what did I do now? So this is the diagram. So here I have, let's say, only this particular system. The Palo Alto Firewall is running on the GNS3 here. So let us start the firewall. So right now the firewall is not started here. If you see here, they're all red here, right? So firewall is not started. I would like to start the firewall. So how do I do that? I go click on this. This green button is here now. This is where you start all the devices. Please click on it. It says, are you sure you want to start all the devices? Yes. Start all the devices. So firewall is now booting. I want to open a console connection to the firewall. So where do we go? We go to here. This is where you open a console connection to all the devices running in the GNS3 here. So what do you do? Click on this. So the firewall is booting now. It takes some time for the firewall to fully boot, right? So what do you do now? While the firewall is booting here, let us also go and start the systems in the diagram. Mango Sys10, Mango Sys20, Mango Sys30, Mango Sys40, and also Mango Management System. Mango Management System. Let us start all the systems. These systems are all running in VMware. The systems are running in VMware. So let us go to VMware. How do I go to VMware? Now again, under activities here, right? Click on this particular icon. This is a VMware icon here. So click on this. When you click on it once, it started what? Starting the VMware workstation. So to see the activities, the programs running in Ubuntu here, you can click on activities. There you can see the GNS3 here. GNS3 activity running here. You also can see VMware activity also running here. And also you can see here all the console connections to the devices, right? So we'll be shuffling between these particular activities. So now I click here on the VMware. When you go to VMware, click on my computer, so it will close, collapse everything. Now again, if I expand it, I see here Palo Alto Firewall case studies, right? Under this particular Palo Alto Firewall case studies, click on it. And you can see what? Palo Alto Firewall case study number 1. So in this particular case study number 1, if you open the folder, to expand this here, click on it, you can see that Mango Sys10, 20, 30, 40 are already, right? So click on Mango Sys10 here and click on Start the Guest Operating System. Start the Guest Operating System. So this will start Mango Sys10 in VMware. Similarly, I click on Mango Sys20, start this particular guest OS. I go to Mango Sys30, start this particular guest OS. Mango Sys40, start this particular guest OS. So we started Mango System 10, 20, 30, 40 as shown in the diagram here. Mango System 20, 30 and then 40 we started. Now we also need to start Mango Management System. Where do you find it? Here. If you see here, you see Mango Management System, right? So click on this particular system here and also start this particular guest OS. So we started all the systems present in the VMware and also all the systems present in what? GNS3. So it takes some time for Palo Alto Firewall to fully start. If at all you want to shuffle between the activities, click on what? Activities here. If you click on activities here, you can see which activities are running in the Ubuntu here. Then you want, let's say you can highlight this, you can work on this. Again, click on activities. You can go to VMware if you want to work on VMware. Again, click on activities. You go here to work with what? The console connections, right? Fine. So give sufficient time for the firewall to start. Now pause the video here. Once you start all the devices, we'll start the lab. So all of you log on to your systems here, start all this. Do till here, and then we start the lab again. So pause the video and then do. Now, so now let us see, start doing the task now. Again, now I go to the activities. I go to activities. Under activities, I choose this particular one where all the console connections are there. Console, right? So I click on this. So it shows what? PAVM login. So what is our first task? Your first task is change the default password of the administrator, right? Admin user account. So for that, what do? We log on locally using the console connection, right? Log on to the firewall locally and then give the username as what? Admin, and the password also as what? Admin. This is a default username and password on the Palo Alto Firewall. So let's do that. I say admin. I give the username as admin. I give the password also as admin. Username admin, password admin. Now it says change the password. So give the old password. What's the old password? ADMIN. Admin is the old password. Now it says give the new password. Which particular password you give in our lab setup here? We always give the password as capital P at the rate of SSW0RD. All of you also give the same password. I say capital P at the rate of SSW0RD. I say enter. Again confirm the password, capital P at the rate of SSW0RD. So now what happens now? The password has been changed on this particular Palo Alto Firewall. So do this particular task. Stop the pause the video for some time. Do this particular task. Then again we start do the next task. Okay. Now let us see as to what is the second task now. The second task is setting the IP address for the management interface. So this is the management interface here. For the management interface, we need to assign this particular IP address as shown in the diagram. This is our second task. How do we do that? For that, first of all, I go to the firewall here. I give the command show interface management. I give the command show interface management to see as to what is IP address already assigned for this particular interface here. So I give the command show management interface management. Then shows what? The name is what? Management interface. What is IP address? IP address unknown. Netmask also unknown. So no IP address has been assigned to the management interface as of now. So we need to assign the IP address, right? So let us see how to assign the IP address now. So what are the commands we give? We are in the I need to go to the configuration mode. What's the command to go to the configuration mode? Configure. When you give the command configure, right? I say enter. I go to the configuration mode, right? Then what is the command I give now? Set device config system type static. I give the command device type static. I give the command saying that I want to give the IP address for the management interface manually, statically, right? This is a command I give. Set device config system type static. This is a command we give. Then I say set again device config system IP hyphen address 192.168.89.1 with the net mask 255.255.255.0. So we give the command like this to give the IP address for the management interface, right? Set device config This is the command I give to set the IP address for the management interface as shown in the diagram here. As shown in the diagram, right? How to verify the configuration again? So again I go here, I say exit, I give the command commit. On the Palo Alto Firewall, whenever you make any configuration changes, only when you give the command commit, the changes will be committed, right? I give the command commit. So the changes will get committed onto the firewall. So by giving the command configure, you enter the configuration mode. Then by giving the command here, we said we are going to give the IP address manually to the management interface and give the IP address. By this particular command, we give the IP address 89.1 is so and so subnet mask. And then we give the command commit to commit the changes onto the firewall. Right? Once the commit is complete, I give the command exit. Then again I give the command show interface management. When you give the command show interface management, it shows that the interface has got this particular IP address. See here, I give the command show interface management. Right? It shows that IP address is 192.89.1. Subnet mask what? 255.255.255.0. So what do you do in this particular task now? We give the command show interface management. Then you see the command configure to enter the configuration mode. Then you give the command set device config system type static. Then we give the command set device config system IP address so and so, the subnet mask so and so. Then we give the command what? Commit. And then we give the command exit. Again show interface management. So let us pause the video here now. Please do the task. And then again we start doing the next task. Now let us see as to what is task number 3. Once we assign the IP address to this particular firewall, now we should be able to log on to the firewall remotely using a browser, right? So where do we sit now? Sitting on this particular system here, Mango Management System, I would like to talk to the firewall using this particular IP address, right? So that's address I give to the firewall, we need to do. How do I do that now? So I should go to system management system now. So please go to activities, click on activities. Right now I am in the console here. I would like to now go to VMware. So what do? I click on what? Activities. Then you see the activity going on here now. So again click somewhere here in this particular box here so that you can highlight that particular activity. So I click on it so I can see the VMware workstation, right? So here, Mango Management System. So I need to log on from this particular system and then get connected to the firewall, right? If you see in the diagram, this system we are talking about. From this particular system, we are trying to log on to the firewall, right? So this system here, the VMware. So how do I log on to this particular system here? The system is already started, right? We started in the previous task. So right click on it. So I go here, I say right click on this particular system. I say what? Send control alt delete. Right click on this particular system and then choose what? Send control alt delete. So I go here, I click on send control alt delete. Now what I say, what is the password? The password on the Windows system is small p at the rate of SSW0RD. That's the password you give on to the system here, right? So on the Palo Alto Firewall, capital P at the rate of SSW0RD. Windows system here, small p at the rate of SSW0RD. Now, first I would like to verify the connectivity. So I go to the command prompt here, CMD. I say CD / clear the screen. I give the command IP config. So what is my IP address? 192.168.89.10. As shown in the diagram here, my IP address is 192.168.89.10, right? So from here I want to ping 89.1 to check whether I could really reach the firewall or not. How do I do that? So I go here now. I give the command ping. I give the command ping 192.168.89.1. I say enter. I get the reply. This what? The firewall is reachable from this particular system. Once I check this, what do I do now? Now I open the Firefox. I open what? Firefox. I open Firefox. Using the Firefox browser, I would like to access the server. So I say not now. You get anything? I say not now. So what I do now? I remove all this. I say what? http:// What's the command I give here now? I say http yes ://192.168.89.1 192.189.8. Guys, what https :// SSL, right? I say enter. So what happens now? It shows like this. It shows that potential risk, right? Why? Because I'm talking using what? HTTPS. Because I'm using HTTPS here, what happens now? The firewall will send a digital certificate. The certificate is what? Self-signed digital certificate. And the self-signed digital certificate is not detected by, is understood by this particular browser, right? That's why it says I can't give access. So warning is giving. But we know that we are talking to the firewall, our own firewall. So I say what? Click on advanced. When you get like this, click on what? Advanced. Click on advanced. And then you can go down, you can see this. It says the websites provide advanced certificate. The certificate is not valid and all it says, right? But you say what? Accept the risk, and then continue, because we know that we are talking to our firewall. In real life, you should not do this, but here you can say accept the risk and continue. Now it is getting connected to what? The firewall. What's the username on the firewall? Admin. Username is admin. And what is the password? Capital P @SSW0RD. Once you give the password, say login. Now you're able to log into the firewall. So that's how you log on to the firewall using a browser. Once you log on to the firewall, it shows the dashboard and all like this. It shows like this, right? It shows like this. If at all you get any pop-ups here, you can close. So do not show this again. You can choose do not show this again. And say what? Close. Again say remind me later. That's how you log on to the firewall, right? So please do the task till here. Pause the video for some time. Complete this particular task. Log on to the firewall. Then again we start with the. Okay. Now let us see as to what is the next task. Next task is what? We need to change the host name and the time zone on the firewall. So where do you go? Right now the host name is what? The device name is PA-VM and so PA-VM is there, right? So I don't want this. We want the name to be changed, right? We want the name to be changed. So what do you do now? So I go to device. How do I change the name and pass the time zone now? Under device. Go to where? Under device, go to general information, right? There you go, click on it. Sorry. So click on the device here. Click on the device. Once you click on the device, under device, go to where? Management. Under management, again what? General settings. There you see this particular settings, right? Click on this, then you give the host name and change the time zone, right? So let us do that now. So I click on the settings here. Now I see like this, right? What is the host name and what's the time zone? I give the host name as I give the host name as mango-ho firewall, mango-ho firewall, and I give the time zone as Asia slash Kolkata, right? So I change the host name and the time zone. Host name as mango-ho firewall, time zone as what? Asia slash Kolkata, and now I click on what? OK. How do I do that? I say click on OK. Now what we do, we need to give the command commit, right? We made the changes. We changed the name as HO firewall, time zone as Asia slash Kolkata. Now what we need to do? We need to commit the changes. Where do you commit now? Here. Click on the commit button to commit the changes. So I go here, I click on commit. When you say commit all changes. So I say what? Commit. Now the changes are being committed onto the firewall. The firewall you have a new name now as mango-ho firewall. And the time zone also would have been changed to Asia slash Kolkata. So once we do this, once the commit is successful, now I say what? Close. Right? So how do you check now? So now I try to refresh the browser. The browser, the name of the firewall is what? pi-vm right now. Once I refresh, the name should reflect as what? Mango-ho firewall, right? Once I refresh, I can see the name as what? Mango-ho firewall. So now I know that I'm talking to the Mango firewall. You understand, no? So again, when you get some dialog box like this, you say, oh, do not show again, do not show again, do not show again, and say close, right? Again, say remind me later. So this is a task where we change the name on the firewall and also time zone on the firewall. Now pause the video for some time, do the task, then we'll go for the next task. Right, what's the next task now? The next task is configure the virtual router on the firewall. So one virtual router will be there on the firewall by default. We've seen this in the class. So how do I do this? So I go to network. Under network, right? I click on network. So let us click on network now. Once you click on network, it shows this called a setting, right? So under network, where do I go? I go to virtual routers. There already one virtual router is there by name of what? Default. So what do you do now? We change the name of this particular default virtual router to mango-ho firewall VR1 as shown in the diagram here. As shown in the diagram here, I try to change the name as what? Mango-ho firewall VR1. Let's see how to do that now. So I click on default. So I click on default here. So default name is there. So I click on this particular default name. Remove the default here and give it as what? I remove this. I say mango-ho firewall VR1. I give the name like this. Now I say what? OK. I click on OK. So again I say what? Commit the changes. So the firewall would take the name as what? Mango-ho firewall VR1. The virtual router is named as this particular name. Next task. So you can pause the video for some time now. Finish this particular task. Then we'll do the next task. Okay. Now, configure what? Security zones on the firewall. And if you see carefully here, so how do I configure the security zones on the firewall? So where do we go? Again I go to network, right? Under network, where do we go? We go to where? security zones. Security zones. So let us click on security zones here now. So under network, we went to where? We went to security zones. There we say add. I'm adding a security zone. No zones are created by default. We need to add a zone, right? So I click on add. When you click on add, this particular dialog box will pop up, right? So let us see how to fill up this particular dialog box. Fine. Here we should give what? Name of the zone. This particular zone we are creating now. If you see here, I would like to create zone 1. So I give the name as what? Zone 1. So I go here, I give the name as zone 1. Now what type of zone I should create? Options are there, right? I choose what? Layer 3 type of zone. Why do you choose layer 3 type of zone? Because the zone is going to be layer 3 type of zone, because the interface is going to be layer 3, right? Because interface has this particular, so interface is going to be this particular zone 1. Because interface is going to be layer 3 type of interface, the zone should also be what? Layer 3 type of interface, right? So I choose these two options. So zone 1 name I give, I say type as what? Layer 3. Once I do this, now I say what? Okay. So I created one zone 1 like this. Then I create one more zone now. And I give the zone name as what? So I go here, I give the zone name. See the diagram here? Here I have what? Zone 2, right? So I give the name of this particular zone as zone 2. And what type of zone I create? In the drop down box here I see what? Layer 3 type. Why layer 3 type? Because the interface, this is going to be layer 3 type of zone, because the interface is going to be layer 3. Interface has got an IP address, so zone should also be layer 3 type of zone, right? So I choose this option. Now I say what? Okay. So I create a zone 1, zone 2, right? So now you can verify the configuration by checking this. Zone 1, these two are what? Layer 3 type of zones, right? So you can choose it, right? Next. So do this particular task and then pause the video now, then we'll do the next task. Okay. Now next task is what? Configure the Ethernet interfaces on the firewall. So how do I call now? Ethernet 1/1 we need to configure, right? So how do I go now? Where do I go? Under network, I go to interfaces. Where do I go? Under network, we go to what? We go to interfaces. There we can see Ethernet 1/1, all these interfaces are, right? So we are now going to configure the interfaces as shown in the diagram. So Ethernet 1/1 interface. So I need to call Ethernet 1/1 interface. So I click on Ethernet 1/1 interface. Here I click on Ethernet 1/1 interface. It opens up like this, right? So what all I should do now? Name of the interface, then type of interface. I choose a type as what? Layer 3, because it is going to have an IP address. Layer 3 type of interface. And then I should assign, it says assign this interface to which particular virtual router, which particular security zone. Further, let us see the diagram now. When you see the diagram here, Ethernet 1/1 should belong to what? Zone 1 and also to what? VR1 router, right? So I assign this particular Ethernet interface to virtual router VR1 and also to the security zone called as zone 1, right? And I click on IP address here. See, I define Ethernet once layer 3 and also VR1 and zone 1. Now I go to IPv4 and assign proper IP address. So I go to IPv4 here, I say add, and I give the IP address as 192.168.1.1/24 as shown in the diagram. When you give the IP address, enter, then only you see like this. Now you say what? Okay. So the interface has been given the IP address like this. Again I go to Ethernet 1/2 interface. I click on Ethernet 1/2. How do you concatenate 1/ in the diagram? It should belong to what? Zone 2 and also VR1 router, right? So I choose this as what? Layer 3 type of interface. And then I say virtual router is VR1 and the security zone is what? Zone 2. And IPv4 address is, I say add 192.168.2.1. 192.168.2.1/24. Right? Say enter. So now I say OK. Now we can verify the configuration like this. We can see what? Ethernet 1/1, layer 3, IP address, VR1, zone 1. Again layer 2, then 1/2, layer 3, IP address, VR1 and zone 2, right? Check all these parameters. Once you are satisfied, now you say what? Commit the changes. So commit. So these changes will be committed onto the file. So in this task, we assigned IP address to the interfaces as shown in the topology. We committed the changes, right? So do this particular task till here. Pause the video for some time and then we'll do the next task. Okay, next task is to verify the routing tables. Verify the routing table of the firewall and all systems. See now, the VR1 router will have a routing table. This will have a routing table, right? Mango system 10 also will have a routing table. Mango sys 20 also will have a routing table. Mango sys 3040, right? So all the systems that have an IP address, this has got an IP address, so routing table will be there. An IP address assigned, this was routing table. IP address assigned, this was a routing table. IP assigned, this was routing table. IP address assigned, this was what? Routing table, right? And routes will be defined saying for so and so destination network ID with so and so mask, send via so and so gateway, right? Like the routes will be there in the routing. So which part of route will be there in the system 10 here now? Because system 10's address is 192.168.1.10. If I say routing table, route should be there saying for your own area yourself is a gateway. And because you give the default gateway, one more route will be there saying all zeros, send the packet home now. The default gateway, right? So these two routes will be there in routing table, right? Let us verify this. So now again I go to the activities. Okay, I go to Mango HO system, right? I want to see routing table of system 10 as shown in the diagram. So what do I do now? I click on this. Second, I try to log in. I say right click. I right click, say send control or delete. For this system, I did not give any password. You can simply say login. Say okay. You need to give some comment here. Say type A or B or C. Now I say what? Okay. So I go to the system 10 now. I want to go to the command prompt. I say what? CMD. Run the command called CMD. It opens a command prompt like this. Here I give the command cd / clear the screen. I give the command ipconfig. What's IP address? 192.168.1.10. I give the command route print to see the routing table of the Windows systems, right? So when I give the command enter, it shows routing table length, right? Because IP address has been assigned as 1.10, it has a route in the routing table saying for 192.168.1.0, sorry, not this one. Because IP address has been assigned route saying that for for your own area 1.0, yourself can send the packet, right? So this route is there as shown in the diagram here. Similarly, because I give the default gateway as 1.1, it has a default route saying all zeros send the packet to so and so. Whose address is this now? The Palo Alto Firewall's IP address, right? So these two routes are the routing table of this particular Windows system. Similarly, if I go here, see the diagram here now. Because sys20 systems IP address is 1.20. I see the routing table here. Route will be there saying for your own area yourself is the gateway. Because it is a default gateway, a default route will also be there in the routing table, right? So let us see that now. So again I go to Mango sys20 here. Right click, send control or delete. I say OK here. I say OK here. I give some comment. I log in. Again I say start. Go to run command. I say what? CMD. There I say cd / clear the screen. I say IP config. What is IP address? 192.168.1.20. I give the command route print. When it's a route print, route will be the list, right? So what happens here now? Because address is 1.20, it has a route saying that for your own area 1.0, right? Yourself can send the packet, right? Because the default gateway has been given as 1.1, it has a default route saying all zeros, send the packet whom now? The router, which is a firewall. Virtual router running on the firewall, right? Similarly, let us go to Mango sys30 now. Address is what? 2.10. So route will be there saying for what? For your own area, you are the gateway. And the default route will be there saying what? Any network animals, send the packet to phone. 2.1. Who's 2.1? The Palo Alto Firewall, right? Let us check this now. I go to Mango sys30. I say rightly send control or delete. I say OK. I say OK. I give a comment as what? Some comment I give here. I say OK. Now I go to the command prompt CMD. I say CMD. There I say what? cd / clear the screen IP config. What's my IP address? 2.10. So on this system again I give the command route print. Route print. It shows what? It shows that because the system's address is 2.10, it has a route saying that for 2.0, for your own area, yourself can send the packet. You are the gateway for your own area. And because we are given the IP address as 2.1, default gateway as 2.1, a default route will get added saying all zeros, send the packet to now 2.1. Who's 2.1? The Palo Alto Firewall, right? Similarly, if I see the diagram here, Mangoes is 40, 2.20. So route will be there saying what? For your own area, yourself can send the packet. And default gateway will what? Default will be pointing saying that all zeros, send the packet to now 2.1, right? Who's 2.1? The Palo Alto Firewall. Let us check this. So I go to Mangoes is 40 now. I say right click, send control or delete. I log in. Then again I go to the command prompt. I go to CMD. I say cd / I say cd / clear the screen. I say what? IP config. Where am I? I am at 2.20. I give the command route print. Because the system's IP address is 2.10, because system's IP address is 2.10, 2.20, route is there saying that for 2.0, yourself can send the packet. And because the default gateway is 2.1, default gateway, a default route is at saying that all zeros, send the packet to now 2.1. Who's 2.1? The Palo Alto Firewall, right? Like this. Now what about the firewall? So I go to the firewall, because it addresses 1.1, the route should be there saying that for 1.0, yourself is the gateway, send via 1.1 Ethernet 1/1. One more route should be there saying, for because address is 2.1, for everyone yourself can send the packet, right? So let us see the routing table of the firewall. How do I do that? I go to activities. Under activities, I click on activities. Then I go to the consoles here. Right here. I go here. Console, right? That's where I can see the command prompt. Sorry, console connection to the firewall, right? So I say enter. What's the command I give to the routing table of the firewall? I give the command show routing. Show routing route. Before that, let us give the command show interface. Show interface tab. I can see Ethernet 1/1. I want to see about Ethernet 1/1. I give the command show interface Ethernet 1/1. I say Ethernet 1/1. It shows what? Ethernet 1/1's IP address is 1.1/24, right? It shows all the parameters related to Ethernet 1/1 interface. Right? Let us go to activities again. I go here. I give the command show Ethernet 1/1. What do I see now? I see Ethernet 1. This is the command I give. Ethernet 1/1. It shows IP address is 1.1/24. It's a layer 3 type of interface. Layer 3 type of interface. Assigned to virtual router firewall VR1. And also belong to the security zone called as what? Zone 1. Right? You can see all these parameters for Ethernet 1/1 interface. We also can see other parameters as well. Similarly, I give the command show interface Ethernet 1/2. This Ethernet 1/2 is IP address is 2.1/24. Layer 3 interface. Also what? Security zone called as zone 2. And also belongs to what? Router VR1. You can see all these parameters for Ethernet 1/2 interface. Right? So I can say logical, all logical. Again shows about this. So Ethernet 1/1, zone 1, it shows all this at one go. Ethernet 1/1, zone 1, VR1 IP address. 1/2, zone 2, VR1 IP address, right? Can you now show interface logical? It shows about two interfaces are configured on the firewall like this. Two are configured, right? Show. Now let's see routing table. I give the command show routing. Show routing route. When you give the command show routing route, it shows that routing table looks like this, right? You can pull like this. It says, when I give the command show routing route, it says one route is there for 1.0/24. Who's the gateway? You are the gateway via Ethernet 1/1. It is what? Connected, directly connected, right? As shown in the diagram here, it says for 1.0/24, yourself can send the packet via so and so interface, right? Similarly, I see again here for 2.0. For 2.0, you are the gateway, again connected route. Which interface? Ethernet 1/2 interface, right? So these things I can see when I give the command show routing route, right? So we verified the routing tables on the systems and the firewall as shown in the diagram. Also, all of you pause the video now, log into the systems, give the command ipconfig, route print, check the routing tables are as shown in the diagram only or not. Then again go to the firewall, give the command show routing route and check whether the routing table is according to the diagram only or not. Pause the video for some time, do this. Okay, now let us see the next task. What's the next task now? The next task is I want to ping from 1.10. From 1.10, I would like to access ping from 1.10 to this policy system 2.10. So I give the command what? Ping 2.10, right? Then what happens? 10 hosts in 2 area. This is routing table. Route is not there for 192.2.0 specific route is not there. Applies the default route. Sends to whom? 1.1. The packet goes to 1.1. 1.1 receives a packet, removes the first cover, removes the second cover, sees the third cover. Use what? IP protocol. IP sees the 2 IP address. What's the address now? 2.10. It's not its own IP address, gets a shock, but then it's acting as a router. It should do what? Forward the packet, right? You should forward the packet to whom now? 2.10. Route is available, willing to forward the packet, but the security guard sitting here will say what? The packets are going from zone 1 to zone 2. Inter-zone traffic, different zones, same zone, it allows the packet to go. Different zones, it by default drops the packet, right? So from 1.10, I should not ping 2.10. Let us see all this. So now I go here to the, again I go to activities. Click on activities because I would like to go to VMware, right? That's where my systems are. I go click on activities. Now I click on VMware. Now I go to Mango system. What do I do over there? I say right click. I say send control or delete. I log on to the file. So clear the screen. I say IP config. Where am I? 1.10. From there I give the command ping 192.168.2.10. When I say enter, I am not able to get the reply because the firewall, the security policy in the firewall is not allowing the packets to go from zone 1 to zone 2. So what do I do now? I want to change the policy. How do I do that? Because now I go to firewall, right? I click on Mango management system. That's where we are connected, right? So I go to Mango management system. From there I go to where? Policies. I click on policies. Under policies, I go to security policies. There are two policies, intra-zone, inter-zone. Intra-zone is what? Any, allow. Inter-zone is what? Any, deny. You want to see that? You click on inter-zone traffic. You say action is what? Allow. Action is what? Allow. Intra-zone, allow. Same zone, allow. But again, if I go here, I go to inter-zone traffic. Second one, inter-zone is what? Action is what? Deny. Inter-zone is what? Deny. So we've seen all these concepts in our theory class, right? So now what I do, I click on add a new security policy. I click on add. I'm trying to add a new security policy. So there I go to security policies. I go to security. Then I click on what? Add. When I say add, it shows a dialog box like this, right? So what do I do in this particular dialog box now? I say, I give some name to the security policy. I give the name as what? P1. I say P1 policy. Under source, I choose what? Zone 1. Packets are coming from zone 1 or zone 2, going to zone 1 or zone 2, right? For any application, service, allow the packet to go, right? I choose allow. Now I say what? Okay. So I'm adding a rule saying that zone 1, zone 2, zone 1, zone 2, allow the packets to go. Now I say what? Commit the changes. When I commit the changes now, I click on it. I say commit. So I can now commit to the. We made a changes to the firewall. We had a new security policy. Unless we commit, it does not get committed. Once the commit is complete, I close this. Now I go to the Mango system. Now I give the command ping 2.10. Previously, when the packet was going from here, from 1.10, an echo request was going like this. The firewall was dropping the packet, right? Now we ask him to allow the packet to go. So the echo request has to go. Reply again has to come back, right? So I should get the reply now. So I check that by giving the command ping 2.10, enter. So the packet has to go through the firewall Reply also should come back to this particular system, right? So I'm able to get the reply. I can also ping similarly 2.20 also, 2.20 also I could ping, right? So from 1.10, here, I'm able to ping from 1.10, I'm able to ping 2.10 and also 2.20. Similarly, from 2.10, I should also ping what? 1.10 as well as 1.20, right? So let us see really happening or not. Again, I go to Mango 630 here. I say right click, send control or delete. I log in. So I give the command clear the screen. I say IP conf, where am I? 2.10. I give the command ping 192.168.1.10. I get the reply, right? Even if I say ping 1.20 also, I get the reply, right? So the packets are able to go through the firewall. We are seeing that the firewall is able to mount the packets, right? We understood all these concepts in our theory class. We are just trying to do the lab now. Pause the video for some time, do the task, then we'll do the next task. Okay, now, what's the next task? Next task is about configuring security. You have done this already, right? Now, next task is verify the interface management profile. Let's understand this now. So, I go to system 10. Where am I? I say IP config. I'm at 1.10. From this particular system 1.10, I'm trying to ping 192.168.1.1. We are trying to ping the firewall itself. How do I do that? I give the command ping 192.168.1.1. I say enter. So I'm not able to get the reply from the firewall. So I'm not able to ping the firewall, right? So why am I not able to ping the firewall? Because packets come to firewall or not allowed access. So what should I do now? Configure interface management profile. Apply the profile to this interface, saying that allow ping, right? How do I do that? We have seen that in our theory class. So where do I go? I go to network. Under network, I go to network profiles. I see here what? Management profile. So under network, I go to where? I go to network profiles. There I see something called interface management profile, right? I click on the interface management profile. Click on it. Then you see what? Nothing is there already. Say what? Add. I'm adding a new interface management profile. I click on add. Then what I do? I give the name as hello-ping. Some name I give. I give the name as what? Hello-ping. I choose what? Ping. Ping. So network services, hello-ping. Right? Permitted IP address. I want only permit from 1.10. I say add. I say 192.168.1.10/1.10. Right? I want only from 1.10. Right? Permit address what? 1.10. I say okay. So I should apply this one now. Where do I go? I go to interfaces. Where do I go? I go to interfaces. There I choose Ethernet 1/1. No profile has been added to any of these interfaces, right? So what do I do now? I click on Ethernet 1/1. So on Ethernet 1/1, I go to advanced. Under advanced, I see management profile, right? There I choose allow ping. So where do I choose now? Under here. Under advanced, I go where? Management profile. There I click on what? Allow ping, right? So I go here, I choose this, I say okay. So now if you see here, you can see that for Ethernet 1/1 interface, allow ping management profile has been applied. Means what? It allows the ping command, echo request to come from that particular IP address 1.10. I say commit now. I say commit the changes. So I click on the commit button here and commit the changes. Once the commit is complete, again you can go to the Mango assistant here. Now if I say up arrow, ping 1.1 or 191.1.10, I'm trying to ping whom now? 1.10. Can I ping? I should get the reply, right? I say enter, I get the reply from the firewall. So firewall allows ping to come from here, right? But again, if I go to system 20, I go from system 20. So I say okay. I clear the screen. I say IP config. I give the command ping 192.168.1.1. What happens now? Again, I am not able to ping, right? Because you allowed only access from 1.10 only in the management profile. Pause the video now and do this particular task. Now let us see next task. So again, next task is about how to ping from the firewall, right? How to ping from the firewall to the systems. So now I go to the firewall. From the firewall, I give the command show interface management. I say show interface Ethernet 1/1. I say enter. Show interface Ethernet 1/1, right? When you see here, because I wanted to show this to you, on this interface Ethernet 1/1, cross verify it. I say enter. It says what? On Ethernet 1/1, the management profile, interface management profile, this one is allowed, allow ping was attached to it, right? You can see this one was attached, so that's why you're able to ping this one, right? Fine. From the firewall, you want to ping the systems. What's the command I give? Ping with the source IP address 192.168.1.1. The host whose IP address is 192.168.1.10. Enter. You get the reply. Again say what? Control C. Again with the source address as so and so, ping 1.20. You can ping the system also now. Say Control C. Again you say ping with the source IP address as 192.168.2.1. Ping the host whose address is 192.168.2.10. I get the reply. Say Control C, up arrow 2.20. Also I could ping, right? So that's how you will check the connectivity from the firewall. So from the firewall, we are trying to ping these two systems and check with this one as source IP. When I'm sending the packet this side, I'm making this one as source IP to ping these two systems, right? So this is what we have seen, right? I say Control C. Stop this one. Do this activity, then we'll summarize. Fine. Let's see as to what commands we are given on the firewall. We get the command first of all, show interface management. It shows about the management interface, right? Then we get the command show interface Ethernet 1/, it shows about what? Ethernet 1/1 interface. Then I give the command show interface Ethernet 1/2, it shows about what? Ethernet 1/2 interface. Then you give the command show interfaces all. It shows about some, like say show IP interface brief command in Cisco routers, right? It shows in brief about what is configured on this, right? Then you can give the command show routing route to see routing table on the firewall. Show routing route. Show routing route type connected. Only show me the connected routes only in the routing table. It shows only the connected routes, right? Show routing fib. forward information base. It shows the flip table like this, right? So the really routing the routes might be there, but these are routes actually applied, right? These are the packets. So stop the, pause the video now, and then learn. Try to do this particular task. So this is a solution video for the first case video on Palo Alto Firewall. So please do the lab practice by watching the video like this.